Hey guys, welcome to another episode, Fantasy Football Scouts. My name's Rob. I'm with Dan and Scott.
Hello.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Mr. Hot Take and Sports Center themselves.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we got 3 wide receiver sleepers today. All right, so these guys we're confident with going a little bit later, you would say? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, sleepers are not your first round.
Yeah.
None of this wishy-washy talking about a guy going in the 4th round. For me, anyways, when I think sleepers, I think someone deep. So
exactly.
I probably have the guy that's probably going the highest, so you might need to target him a little bit more than the other two.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll start since I teased that. But and this is no secret. He's been getting a lot of hype throughout the entire offseason, and that's Braylon Aiyuk. It's very fascinating to see him and Debo. They're interchangeable. But that Trey Lance effect is going to have some people on their toes because Trey Lance is going to start eventually. It might even be as early as week 1. Who knows? The way that Jimmy's been playing, not the greatest. You're getting a guy who is going to put up 1,000 yards this year, all-purpose at the wide receiver is something else, and I think he's gonna overtake George Kittle as the go-to guy in this offense.
That's crazy talk.
And also Debo Samuel, another wideout in San Fran, he's been hurt, right? He's got an injury that's lingering or something like that.
Yeah.
So and I think he got hurt last year as well. I think Debo missed some time last year.
Yeah, for what it's worth, after Kittle, who's also returning from injury, because this is definitely a team that's in transition a little bit. They had all these guys out, and now they're all coming in, so we're not really sure how the target distribution is going to go. But I guarantee you that Kittle, this is not a tight end episode, but Kittle's going to get his. But
Debo only played 7 games last year.
Yeah.
So
you could definitely target him and see what happens. I mean, I'm not selling any guarantees on San Francisco receivers, but this is Dan's pick. So I mean.
Obviously George Kittle, he gets his yards because he's just a maniac with the ball in his hand. But but Brandon Aiyuk is probably going to lead the league or not lead the league, but he's going to lead the team in touchdown receptions here.
Well, if you look at his stats, I pulled him up here. So Aiyuk played 12 games last year, so he did get hurt, but he's good now. In 12 games, 96 targets. Right.
Yeah.
So had he played all 16, I mean that's a lot of volume thrown his way, and he's a lot of people are high on him this year.
There's the chatter's been getting louder lately about Aiyuk.
It's also not hard to take over top receiving touchdowns from George Kittle on San Francisco because he doesn't put up.
Allergic to touchdowns.
He's allergic to touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's got that.
Unfortunate.
He's got that kind of Julio effect, you know. He'll put up the yards, but 5 touchdowns is his career high in a season.
It's weird, but you know what? They're saying that maybe he can have a breakout. Again, we're not talking about Kittle, but what we are referring to is that the positive for San Francisco is that they are a good team, they're a well-run team, and they don't have an alpha receiver. So it's up for grabs, you know. Someone can come off the pack. When I say someone, it's really between the 2 guys. It's really just between Aiyuk and Samuel. So one of them is gonna be the WR1. Maybe they'll coexist in that regard, but there's definitely room for production from these guys.
And where's Brandon Aiyuk going in fantasy drafts right now? He's going in the mid 4th round.
Yeah, tail end of the 4th into the 5th. So,
I'd see him being closer to 5th than the 4th because it's not like an overly sexy. It's not like a name that's gonna pop out and you just be like, oh, he's under the radar a little bit. He's being talked about, but he's still a little under the radar. I don't think he'll be overdrafted. I think he'll be gettable.
Under the radar sleeper pick. That's kind of goes hand in hand. So that's not a bad pick at all, Brandon Aiyuk. I like it. Trey Lance is like you said, he might start week 1. He's This guy is electric. Like there's a lot of hype behind him, and he's fun to watch. I watch the preseason games, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So we'll see what the 49ers decide to do. Whether it's Garoppolo or Lance starting week 1, eventually I think they give him the keys to the car, right?
Yeah, we're expecting it.
All right, so Scott, who's your sleeper wideout?
Yeah, looking through my earlier list from these guys, a lot of them have jumped up the list, in the last month or so. That's just the nature of the beast. So the one guy that I'm sticking with is a Henry Ruggs on the Vegas Raiders. He was cut. He had a tough season last year. It was cut short. Injuries happen sometimes. Nothing you can do about it. I don't know. There's no way to tell if he's injury prone or anything like that. These things do happen. We just saw poor Travis Etienne go down there. So we can't build a narrative with just one season. That's tough. So when I look at Ruggs, I'm not sure how many games he played, but he did have nine rushes for 49 yards as a receiver. That's funny. He returned the kick or punt returner, but he had 26 catches on 43 targets for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. So if he plays, he'll at least double that.
He played 13 games. So it's not too bad.
He played 13, but I believe he got hurt week 2 and was out for. I think that he was fighting injuries for most of the season. Because I remember him getting hurt really early on when he went for a burner and he pulled a hammy or something. Yeah, I remember that happening. So he's got a few things working on his side. John Gruden is in a little bit of a meltdown mode right now with the roster and just being unhappy with a lot of things.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to look like a fool taking Ruggs after all his other first round picks for Khalil Mack have busted.
Yeah.
So he's really trying to get Ruggs involved. Well, that was the earlier reports. We haven't seen a whole lot from him or from the Vegas camp on the offensive side. But I still believe that Ruggs is a great pick wherever he's going. I'm not 100% sure what his ADP is right now, but it's low. I haven't seen this guy be popping up in any 6th, 7th rounds or anything like that.
He had a couple nice touchdowns last year, I remember.
He's a fast guy.
Oh, absolutely.
That's his main arsenal, and you're getting a guy. You're getting Deshaun Jackson essentially is what you're getting. Yeah. The only thing is, I don't know how productive Ruggs will be at the NFL level because it was a lot easier to get open when he was at Alabama. He had Tua throwing the ball. He had Jerry Jeudy. He had DeAndre Smith. He had buddy Jalen Waddle. So there's Ruggs was just free to go all over the top, and then Najee Harris was in the back. So this is what I'm getting at is he didn't have the surrounding cast around him.
Yeah,
that he has in Vegas. So guys are gonna just clamp down on him,
but also so Braylon Edwards is the other wideout in Vegas, and a lot of people are talking good things about this guy. But Henry Ruggs could be the number one target in Vegas, right?
The difference between them is that at least he's the only burner on the team. It's not like they're running a Kansas City style offense where there's a bunch of these guys. Yeah. He can get separation. He did show that in the games he played. It's just he had a bit of an injury riddled season last year. Yeah. So
he's going in approximately the 10th round.
Yeah, I have no problems taking him in the 9th round if I really want to grab him. For instance,
if you take a look at our league, which is a 12-man, but it's IDP, so
you can get him a little bit later.
Exactly.
You
can get him much later.
Yeah.
You can get him 12th, 13th round. So if you're in an IDP league where defensive players start going in the 5th, 6th round, then
but be all that as it may, it's a sleeper.
I like it.
There's not a lot of risk. So despite Dan's worries, we're not talking about a top pick here. You're just throwing him on your pile of receivers, and you're gonna see if he gives you what you like. And if he doesn't, again, you can always cut bait with guys like this. But I don't think that he's gonna be the kind of guy that you're gonna want to cut bait with if he really starts going. Carr's a gunslinger. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Carr can get it downfield. This guy can get open downfield. So we're gonna see if he's a poor man Tyreek or what.
Yeah, speed kills, man. This guy is fast, and I like him as a sleeper pick. Yeah. You can get, like you said, you can get him real late, so you're not really risking much, right? So Henry Ruggs, not too bad of a sleeper pick. I'm going with my boy Nicole Hardman. Now I'll be honest, we were talking about depth chart in Kansas City, so I'm not super confident with the pick. But again, like Ruggs, Nicole Hardman is someone you can get really late. Now, so we're looking at the depth chart, and it looks like Demarcus Robinson is ahead of Nicole Hardman as the number 2 receiver behind Tyreek Hill, obviously. So, but he scored a nice touchdown last preseason game. Nicole Hardman did, and I was high on him. Going into my first draft, I drafted him, and I'm still high on him. Now, sleeper pick. So I'm telling you guys, it's either Nicole Hardman or Demarcus Robinson. So if I have to pick one, I'm going to go with Nicole Hardman, but it's going to be one of the two. So I might miss on this one. Now, again, also one thing I should mention is that last year I was really high on Demarcus Robinson, and I drafted him in a couple leagues. Now, it didn't work out. So it could go either way here. Nicole Hardman didn't have big numbers this year or last year, but I am picking him as my sleeper pick.
Yeah, for what it's worth, when Sammy Watkins went down last year, they were really looking for a WR2 to step up behind Tyreek Hill and behind Kelsey, and no one really did. There was the three candidates, in Hardman, Pringle, and Robinson, and no one was really able to separate themselves. Now, this could actually work in Hardman's favor for this year because we're still high on him. And the team is as well. He's not going anywhere. And these other guys did not prove that they were some can't-miss prospect that Kansas had to absolutely have on the field. Yeah. So I think that the preseason has been a tale of two stories for Hardman so far. Week 1 was disappointing. People jumped off really quick. I was really impressed with the touchdown he had in week 2. Yeah. It wasn't one of those burner, just track me ones. He had to fight off a DB, turn around, catch an underthrown ball from Chad Henne, and he sat down in the end zone. So it was one of those. It was one of those kind of touchdowns that you'd expect to see in an NFL game, not just a pitch and catch track meet one. So it's a positive.
And that's one thing worth mentioning. Should mention is that Sammy Watkins is in Baltimore now, so that's a huge. There's a big hole right there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, right off the bat, Hardman was also fighting Watkins for targets last year too, especially after Watkins blows up week 1, in typical Watkins fashion, and makes everyone forget about the other guys for a few weeks.
He'll have to fight for his snaps though, but it's definitely up for grabs there. So
you mentioned Byron Pringle. I'm not concerned about him whatsoever. Demarcus Robinson is another story. So it's Hardman or Robinson. I think one of those two guys is going to have a really good year. And if I have to pick, I'm definitely going with Nicole Hardman this year. So that's my sleeper pick. So I got Nicole Hardman, Scott.
Henry Ruggs,
Brandon Aiyuk. Look out for him.
There you go. So those are 3 sleeper picks for wide receivers. And consider drafting on draft day. Thanks for listening, guys. Like and subscribe.
Till next time.
Take it easy.